Bonjour. So today we are going to be learning about the Bastille Day, which is a very special day of celebration in France. And we're also going to be doing some crafts. We're going to be making a cocarde. So let's find out a little bit about Bastille Day. Okay, so Bastille Day, we can see a picture here of the French flag in the background. Can you tell me in French what colours it is? We've got bleu, blanc et rouge. Très bien. Okay, and we can also see a woman who is wearing a traditional hat with a cocarde. This is what we're going to be making later. Okay, and this lady is known as Marianne, and she is seen as a symbol of liberty. Okay, so I want you to think about what is the most important day of the year for you? What days of the year are special for you and your family? So maybe you celebrate Christmas, or you might celebrate Eid, Pancake Day, your birthday. Okay, so these are some of celebrations that you might have during the year, and different countries have different celebrations. So in France, le 14 juillet, the 14th of July is a really, really special day. Okay, and we can see some pictures of how they celebrate this day, known as Bastille Day or National Day. So we can see some fireworks in Paris by the Tour Eiffel, which was actually built in 1889 to celebrate 100 years of the French Revolution, which is what we're going to be learning about. And fireworks take place in all sorts of cities around France and villages. And they also take place on this day in countries that have a connection to France. Okay, and we can also see in this picture La Patrouille de France alpha jets flying over. So see what colours you can see. We've got rouge, blanc et bleu. We can see the military parade in the Champs-Élysées, which is also in Paris. And other things that people might do to celebrate is they have fun fairs in their communities, they eat candy floss, the children stay up late, so it's lots and lots of fun for everyone. So why do you think they might have chosen the 14th of July as their national day? To find out, we need to go back in time to the 14th of July, 1789. Okay, so this was the time of La Révolution Française, the French Revolution. Okay, so in the 18th century, French society was divided into a hierarchy of three social classes. You had the clergy, the nobles, and the commoners. Okay, Le Roi, who was the king, he was greedy and spoilt, and he was absolute ruler over everyone. You then had the nobles and the clergy, who controlled huge areas of land and industry, so they were very rich as well. And then unfortunately, the common people were the huge majority of the French population, and they worked the land for very little money in return. And they also had to pay enormous taxes to the nobles and the church, so they were very poor and very unhappy. In 1789, France was in a very bad way. The harvest had been poor in recent times, so there was no food around, and the common people were hungry. And additionally, King Louis XVI, who was a king at the time, was very extravagant, and he had spent lots of the money, and there was virtually no money left in France. So he decided that to get more money, he would raise taxes for the commoners. Okay, so people who were against the unfair system were often imprisoned in the hated fortress known as La Bastille Saint-Antoine. Okay, so you can see here a picture of what happened on the 14th of July, 1789. Hungry, angry rioters broke into the prison, set the prisoners free, and stole the weapons which were kept there. Many of the guards and officers were killed. Only 7 people in the prison cells at the time, but the storming of the Bastille was regarded as a triumph of the common people over the ruling classes. Okay. When La Reine, the Queen, Marie Antoinette, heard about the riots, she asked why the people were angry. She was told that the poor people were hungry because they had no bread. Marie Antoinette is supposed to have replied, well, if there is no bread, let them eat cake instead. It is not known if this story is quite true, but is a good example of how privileged the upper class were at the time. They just did not understand or care how the poor were suffering. Okay, so the king refused to accept that the common people had the right to govern themselves and to share in the country's fortunes. Okay, so they were saying, oui, oui, oui. And he was saying, no, no. So what happened next? The revolutionaries said that the king was no longer the ruler. Instead, they declared that France was now a republic, ruled by the people for the people. And they adopted the motto, liberté, égalité, fraternité, which means freedom, equality, and brotherhood, to show that the new country would be fair to all. The church land and the nobles' property were confiscated so that everyone could benefit from their riches. Okay, so this was the revolution. Okay, other things people did, they flew le tricolore drapeau, the 3-colored French flag, to show how proud they were. And it was common to wear a traditional farmer's cap to show they were one of the people and supported the protests. Even today, when French people protest in public, many of them wear these little red caps. And they even made jewelry and ornaments out of the ruined stones of the Bastille, demonstrated how they had crushed the unfair system. So many thousands of French nobles were executed in the coming years. They were called the enemies of the people and regarded as dangerous to the new equal French society. The king and queen tried to flee with their family to Austria, Marie Antoinette's home, but they were forced to return to France. The royal family were arrested and imprisoned. Then in 1793, the king, who had been renamed simply as Citizen Louis Capet, was executed along with the queen. The enemies of the people were usually killed using the guillotine, a fearsome machine which sliced off the prisoner's head with a razor-sharp blade. Huge crowds turned out in the Place de la Révolution in Paris to watch the deaths of the king and his old regime. The revolution was complete. So, every year on the anniversary of the storming of the Bastille, French people all over the world celebrate their nation. So, as we said before, citizens fly and wear their national colours and sing the national anthem, La Marseillaise. La Tour Eiffel was built in 1889 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the revolution. And remember, we said they have fireworks around the Tour Eiffel these days. And the symbol of liberty, a woman always known as Marianne, is seen everywhere wearing her traditional cap. Okay, so that's the lady that we saw at the beginning. Okay, so let's have a little think about what you have learnt about Bastille Day. Okay, there's going to be a little quiz for you to do. But anything you've learnt, you can write in the comments below as well. Très bien. Now, we are now going to have a go at doing our cocarde. Okay, so we are going to be making a cocarde. So this is what a cocarde looks like. Okay, so you can see it's bleu, blanc, et rouge. And it was a rosette that was worn during the French Revolution, and it's a symbol of the Republic. Okay, so to make the cocarde, what you're going to need is some paper. You're going to need bleu, blanc, et rouge. Okay, you're also going to need un crayon, une règle, des ciseaux, and colle. Okay, some glue. Très bien. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your papier rouge and your stylo, your crayon, stylo is a pen, and your règle, and you are going to record 7 centimeters. Okay, so 7 centimeters of the paper and 7 centimeters there. If you do it at the bottom and at the top, there's 7 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and then we're going to join those together, okay, to make a line. Voilà. Okay, don't worry if it's not quite right, it's not looking quite too straight. Okay, and then again, voila. Okay, so now we're going to take our ciseaux and we're going to cut those out. Et donc, très bien, okay. So next we are going to, I'm just going to put this to the side. We're going to get our papier blanche, so our white paper, and we are going to mark out 5 centimeters. So we need 2 strips again. So 5 is there, and do the same at the top. 5, voila. Okay, and we are going to join those together, drawing a line. Un. Et 2, très bien. And then we're going to cut those out as well. Okay, so we're going to couper the bande. Un. Et deux. Voilà. Okay, so now we've got 2 bandes blanches and 2 bandes rouges. Okay, and we're going to concertina those. So we're going to make, it's going to be like an accordion. Okay, so you need to concertina those.
Voilà l'été, j'aperçois le soleil, les nuages filent et le ciel s'éclaircit. Et dans ma tête qui bourdonne les abeilles, j'entends rugir le plaisir.
Okay, and we're going to do the same with the other one. So see if you can count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Voila. Okay. Now I'm going to get my colle, okay, my glue, and I'm going to stick these together. So I'm going to stick the white ones together. So I'm going to get les deux bouts du papier, the two ends of the paper, and I'm going to use my colle. Voila. And stick those together. Comme ça. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. La colle. Okay, voila, so I've got un cercle, I've got a circle like this. And I'm going to do the same with my papier rouge. So here's la colle. Okay. Comme ça. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Voila. So now I've got my cercle rouge. Okay, so I'm just going to put those to dry. And while I do that, I'm going to make the last part of my rosette, which is to make a circle. Okay, so you need your papier bleu and you need something to draw around. So I'm going to use the bottom of my pot of glue, the colle, and I'm going to draw un cercle like this. Comme ça. Okay, and I'm going to cut that out. Okay, if you haven't got any blue paper at home or red paper, you could always colour in a piece, so you can still have a go at doing this. Okay, comme ça, voilà. So once they are dry, okay, we are now going to make them into circles. Okay, so I've got un cercle rouge, okay, and this is the fiddly bit, un cercle blanc, okay, and I'm going to stick my cercle blanc on my cercle rouge. So first of all, I'm going to get my colle, I'm going to get some glue, and I'm going to stick it on.
De la vie, c'est le retour des amours qui nous chauffent les oreilles. Il fait si chaud qu'il nous pousse des envies. C'est le bonheur rafraîchi d'un cocktail, les filles sont belles.
My cercle blanc on there. Okay, comme ça. Again, a little bit fiddly this bit. And I'm just going to hold it down while I put some colle on my cercle bleu. Okay, so if you've got a helper for this, that would be really good. Help you maybe hold it down. I'll put the glue on. Okay, like this. Voila, and then we're going to stick that on top. Okay, now you might need to wait a little bit for that to dry. Okay, so that the glue, so it doesn't pop up and the glue really stays on. So maybe if you can find something heavy to put on top, that will help you to hold it together. Okay, so there is your cocarde, and I would love to see a picture. If you could send that, that'd be really good to see. Okay, so très bien, well done for doing that. I hope I can see your pictures too. Au revoir.